I wasted 2 years, spent tens of thousands of dollars, and nearly quit YouTube automation, all because I believe the biggest misconceptions about how the YouTube algorithm works, and you likely are too. So in today's video, I'm going to pull the curtain and show you all what these myths are, because most of them you probably believe and hold true to your heart, and they are what's been leading you to not succeed at the degree that you expected in this business model. So I'm going to basically break down literally everything that you need to know, all the things that you're doing wrong, and how to fix them in today's video. I've put a lot of time and energy into this video. So please, if you really care about making this thing work, if you're truly determined to find success with YouTube automation, I highly suggest you stick around to the end, because missing one essential or crucial step in this process will potentially prevent you from actually succeeding. So let's get right into it, guys. Why do most automation channels fail? Why do 99% of them fail, actually? Because truthfully, most of them do. And it's, again, because they don't understand these simple concepts. But here's how you can be different. Here's how you can be the 1% that actually succeed. All right. So most people come into this and they say, I thought it was all supposed to be passive. So I want to just break that apart so you understand what the whole passive income part of this means. All right. So yes, YouTube automation is one of the most passive businesses that exist today online. But the issue is that it's very misconstrued with being holistically passive versus gradually passive, meaning you need to work up to the point where it's passive, right? You have to build systems. You have to streamline everything until the point where the business works for you. But at first, you don't just start a channel and all of a sudden it's passive, right? You need to actually build up a team, build up an infrastructure, build up a content calendar, and actually delegate it to the right people so that it can become passive, and then people can work for you. They can row the boat while you just steer. And that's when the whole thing becomes passive, right? So the harsh truth is that most creators jump into this blind and just copy what doesn't work or refuse to do the work in general. And then they just complain because someone online told them it was passive income. It really is, but you have to have the right idea of how to execute it, versus the people who actually follow the right steps and they find themselves being financially free, working 1 to 4 hours a week, making over $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and even some people doing $30,000 a month. And so that's how this business model should be done. I'm going to break it all down because this is obviously an oversimplification, and I'll break it all down. But let me show you guys the main components. These are all the killers of YouTube automation. You're likely doing one or all of these things, right? And please, please, please don't take offense when I show you this stuff. Don't be the person that comes at me in the comments and complaining about what I'm saying. I just want to show you guys exactly what's restricting your flow of success, right? The first one is having a Fiverr dependency. So what that actually means is just listening to basically everyone on the internet that's teaching you YouTube automation that says, go to Fiverr and hire your team from there. Yes, of course, you can find teams from Fiverr, but the issue is you're going to fall into quite a few different groups of people, which you should strongly avoid. All right. So the first group of people are the full production teams. You'll find a lot of these people on Fiverr where they claim they can basically do everything for you for one price. All right, so they have the script writing, the voiceover, the thumbnail, the title, the topic itself, the posting, the SEO, the scheduling, and the cash flow machine that they're going to build for you for $500 a month. So let me show you how wrong that is in every single level, okay? So let's just say you have your script, your voiceover, your editing, and then your also thumbnail, and your posting, and your SEO. Wow, all this for $500. Sorry, trying to do this on my laptop is difficult. $500. So you have come into this business knowing you can make tens of thousands of dollars a month, but somebody out there is going to charge you $500 to run your entire business, to do all the thinking for you, to do the strategy, to do all the reverse engineering of the competitors, to understand what your audience actually wants to watch and what they don't want to watch, doing all of the optimizing for $500 a month. So please, 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 when you see this stuff, you need to run far away, because these guys are just trying to make money off of you without having any idea of actually how to do YouTube. They just went and found some editors on Fiverr and found some thumbnail artists here and some script writers here. The same thing you should be doing, but you're trying to be convenient by working with a one-stop shop, which never really works. Maybe sometimes there's these diamond in the rough channels that actually end up working, but don't think you're going to be the outlier, because you likely will not be. You're just going to burn $500 times 12 months, and all of a sudden you're down the drain, $6,000, and you move on to the next business with a $6,000 loss. Don't do this. That's rule number one. Do not break. So the second reason why I don't believe you should be using Fiverr is simply because the editors and the teams there happen to use the same content over and over and sell it to you. So you're paying for content that you think is original, which actually in turn ends up being copyright content because it's been reused, right? And so that ends up leaving you with copyright issues, copyright strikes. It just doesn't work in your favor. Sometimes you can find good voiceover artists and sometimes good thumbnail artists on Fiverr, but overall, if you really want top quality work, I highly suggest using Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. All right. So Upwork is a platform that's specific to Filipinos. So you can basically find a workforce of Filipinos at very low cost, usually between $3 to $5 an hour, or just very minimal one size or like one project rates. Or again, going to Upwork, I tend to find the best and most highest quality freelancers on Upwork simply because I have the ability to basically filter out and be extremely intentional with the type of people I want to attract with the ads. So when I say I'm looking for an editor who has this specific skill set, who's worked in my industry, who's willing to make this many videos per month, who has a success rate of X amount, and also is willing to accept my specific rate. So upon actually posting this ad, I'm only going to attract the people that are willing to work with my specific conditions, knowing how much I'm willing to pay, and having the experience necessary to create content for my channel. Versus on Upwork, you have to find them and you only hope that they actually produce the quality and the quantity that you're looking for at the rate that you're expecting. So that's why, all in all, I highly suggest using Upwork. And if you're not sure of actually how to post on Upwork to get a very, very good qualified candidate coming to you, or many of them, then what you can do is you can actually jump on my free school community by going in the link in the description. It'll be the first one there, and you can head over to my classroom. I literally have a massive free course that I've given away for free. So I'd highly suggest going there. And if you're going to here into team building and production, you'll have a full breakdown of exactly how to put together a full team using Fiverr, Upwork, with job templates, hiring procedures, everything I've given away for free. So I definitely don't recommend looking that over if you're interested in hiring high quality teams and how to attract the best talent for yourself. So moving on, all right, we can now see the second things that are killing everyone's channels, which is the clickbait and bounce, which is where you lie and then you die. All right. So the issue with this is that most people are doing misleading thumbnails and titles, which cause early drop-offs, hurting the algorithm and killing trust. So let's just play a hypothetical situation that you try to create a video where you told someone, for example, they would see live in-game footage of a football game, for example. They click on the video and it ends up being a clip of a FIFA game, right? So a video game. So that is grade A clickbait. That is literally lying and deceiving to the viewer and wasting their time. So what happens is they're going to click because they're interested, but then they're going to leave. And YouTube is going to see that as an extreme red flag. All right. So let's go ahead and put it over here. Red flag. All right. So people think that just because they get a good click-through rate, you can get a lot of people to click on your videos. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for the video, because they can click on your video, but when YouTube sees that they leave in the first 5, 10, 30 seconds, that's also going to destroy your video. It's going to destroy your average view duration, which we'll talk about as well. And so it's not only about having a good click-through rate, you need a holistic metric package, which is going to be your click-through rate and your average view duration. And so that's the key thing here. So don't kill people's trust by misleading them and deceiving them on the thumbnails. Always make sure that you relatively deliver what's on the thumbnail with the video itself. Otherwise, they will click away. And I'm going to talk about more specifically what I mean by relatively, because there's also edges to this. There's a bit of a wave that you can play where you can kind of play in a bit of a gray area to get them to click and still also deliver while twisting the truth a little bit, right? So we'll walk that fine line. I'll show you exactly what that means. So the third one is bad storytelling. This one is probably one of the most important ones, all right? People leaving after the 30-second mark or even before, all right? So there's specific things that YouTube looks at, again, that really evaluate the quality of your channel and determine whether it should get pushed out to more people. So the first one is your click-through rate, like I just mentioned. Then it's your average view duration. And the third one is your first 30 seconds. There's a graph in your analytics called the first 30 seconds graph. And if you see a substantial amount of people that fall off in the first 30 seconds, YouTube will read that as negative data, and they will actually shun your channel and your videos from not getting seen. And so you really want to make sure that the retention is high by focusing on your hooks, right? So poor hooks and overall boring content will destroy the watch time AVD and also your first 30-second graph, all right? So let's break down what is a good first 30 seconds and a bad first 30 seconds. So a good first 30 seconds is going to be about 75% and up. All right, so if 75% of people are still watching at 30 seconds and beyond, that is good. Now, bad is going to be anything under 75%, but let's say 35 to 55, anything like that is bad. All right, so you don't want to be in that place. This is a clear indication you need to improve your videos and improve your hooks, because if your hooks are not good, they're not captivating, people are going to click away, and YouTube will punish your video by not sharing it with more people. So the other thing you need to take into consideration is the average session duration. This is something that literally nobody talks about, and it's insane because it is literally the most valuable thing on YouTube. It is what makes YouTube a business and why they even do this to begin with, because they want to make money. Their main objective is to keep you glued. That's it. And so the way that you can help YouTube do that is by extending the session duration of every person watching your channel. All right. So somebody clicks on your video. They now have started a session. What your goal is to keep that session as long as possible. Because if somebody clicks on your video and then they click away, or worse, leave YouTube, you are the one that will be punished. And so the best way to keep people retained is something that I call the view loop strategy. All right. This is essentially your ability to loop people from video to video to video to video using playlists and end screens. All right. These are the two strategies that I use the most with my students. So when someone finishes a video, YouTube will always suggest a best for viewer, or you put a specific video. And the best thing that you can do is in the cliffhanger, right, in the ending of a video, is to not just say thanks for watching or end it abruptly, but rather say, if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to watch this one because it relates, because you'll also learn this, or because you're interested in this, you'd also like this. And so this view loop strategy where you loop them from video to video to video is not only going to help you get more views, but also increase the rank of your channel, because the session duration, by the way, it's an invisible metric. You actually can't see this anywhere. It's just something that you know happens because you're actively sending people from video to video to video. One way you can know is, for example, look at your end screen analytics. And if you see a lot of people watching videos from your end screens, that means you're keeping sessions long, right? The longer the sessions, the more you get rewarded from YouTube. So that's a huge key thing right here. No one's talking about this, but it is so incredibly valuable, the session duration, all right? The next thing is copyright paranoia, the feared what could have been. All right, so a huge issue is that many people are scared to use copyright clips, but transformative content, which is 7 seconds with narration, is protected under the fair use. So let me show you quickly what YouTube says here. So fair use on YouTube allows limited use of copyright material without permissions under specific circumstances, primarily used for commentary, criticism, and educational purposes. So what that means is we're able to use other people's content in the instance that we actually make that video transformative and original. And the way that we do that is through criticism, commentary, or educational value. So what does it mean where we go ahead and script an entire video, add a voiceover, and then we also use copyright clips, but we only use them with about 7 seconds of narration. So that's the whole key here. So us using copyright content, but having our own twist to it, adding value and manipulating that content so it's original to us because we actually add our value over it, allows us to be protected under the Fair Use Act. So we do everything legally. We've been doing this for like a decade, where we can use other people's content and make money off of it, because we're not just taking 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of people's content and just posting it on our channel and making money off of it. No, we're taking their content, we're chopping it up, and then we're using our own original commentary or educational value over those videos via the script writing and voiceovers, and then we monetize off of it. So the one main takeaway from this is avoid stock video at all costs. These stock video websites like Pexels and stuff like that, people are so sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Avoid it at all costs, because I promise you no one will watch your videos. So even if you're using those softwares that actually you put in a prompt and all of a sudden a video is created and they use stock video, don't do it. It's very, very likely never going to work. You'll be part of the 1% of people, if you get so lucky, that actually see success with that and your channel sees the light of day. It's not going to work. So the thing you should do is use other people's content. And another really cool option is to use movies and TV shows. There's a site called Get Yarn where you can actually go here and it'll find you any scene from any movie. You can type in any phrase or scene. If you say, I want to see a guy throwing money off of a boat, it's going to find you a bunch of scenes from different movies and TV shows of that happening. Or if it's a specific phrase, like someone saying something, it'll actually pull from thousands of movies and pull up specific scenes of people saying what you typed in if you want to use this for your videos. So that's what I would recommend if you really want to take your content to the next level. Avoid using stock videos and really bring it to life. So that's the main thing. Now, the last thing here is having zero patience. Oh my God, the amount of times I've seen this. Uploaded 3 videos, gave up, rip. So this is the biggest killer of YouTube. It's not picking the wrong niche. It's not picking the wrong team. It's not posting the wrong kind of videos. It's just not being patient. Right? Uploading a few videos and quitting is super common. Trust me, I'm a coach. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of students, and it's so sad how many people quit before they see success. It is absolutely insane. Real success requires consistent uploads, analytics review, and continuous refinement. All right? So I know all of you have seen this meme, and most of you are this guy. All right, you've dug all the way to the end. You have inches left, and then you quit. And there's someone else right behind you pushing hard, staying consistent, being resilient, and not allowing their fear of failure to get in the way. All right, so don't be this person. Please don't be this person. The main thing, and I'm going to break this down a little bit further in the video, is that we're so blessed to have the type of business that we have. All right. There's so many other business models out there, and I'm going to break them down for you. They are so garbage when it comes to the traditional path of business, like the opportunity of business. There's so many different avenues right now, and YouTube literally is at the top of them. If you really break it down, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean and why I say that. But I want to show you, first of all, what is actually driving success on YouTube, because now I've showed you exactly what you're not supposed to do. What are the things that are killing your success? So let me show you what is actually driving success. So how to succeed. Let's start with number one, the retention engine. All right. Number one is a great hook and engaging story. So I told you guys why it's valuable to have a great hook, because you need your first 30 seconds to be extremely engaging to keep people retained on your videos. The second thing is an engaging story. Guys, storytelling is the future of YouTube. If you get good at storytelling, you're going to make a ton of money online, period. That is the most high income, high leverage skill set that you can obtain in 2025, which is learning how to tell a good goddamn story. If you can do this, you can basically dominate in YouTube, in ads, in products, and literally anything you put your mind to. So I say, if you're going to do anything this year, learn how to make a great hook and learn how to tell an engaging story. You will make so much money. And I'm not even going to go further than that. That's just so obvious. Now, the other thing is the SEO traps that most people ignore. Now, a lot of people are still making the mistake of putting tags, like silly tags like For You page or hashtag trending or whatever they want to put. Don't put things that are irrelevant or famous keywords of different people. Don't do that at all. You have 500 tag limit, so please use them using long tail, short tail keywords. If you don't know how to do that and you don't want to, you can use a site like this, which is called Rapid Tags, and it'll literally create the tags for you. You just have to put the title of your video, and it's going to spit out a bunch of tags adding up to a total of 500 characters with long tail and short tail keywords. Again, if you guys also want the links to everything that I'm talking about in this, please make sure to go and join my free school community. I always upload the videos to the modules here, and as soon as I do, there's a link over here with all the links and resources and prompts and everything I talk about in these videos. You can access them here. So again, click the link to join the free school community. You got the prompts, and also we go live twice a week for free with myself, yours truly. So it's definitely not something you want to miss out on. All right. Now moving on. The next thing is thumbnails and titles, which I call the perfect marriage. This is your packaging. All right. Don't lie, just tease. Every thumbnail title should match the video payoff, or people will bounce in the first 10 seconds flat. All right, so one channel that does this very nice is called Extinct Zeus. So I'm going to show you the channel over here, right? So they've been posting for about 2 years now, and they are absolutely crushing it with only 110 videos, almost 1 million subscribers, and they're currently doing about 10.2 million views, which by the way is about 20% down from last month. So they're absolutely printing. Let me show you exactly how much. So as of right now, they have an RPM of about $7, which means they get paid $7 for every 1,000 views that they incur, leading up to a total of $70,000 every single month, with easily about an 85 to 95% profit margin, because these videos are very cheap to make and the profit margins are exceptionally high with this business model. So as you can see, when I was talking about this strategy, all right, let's see what I mean by the thumbnail and title strategy and the packaging. So here you can see the videos, the discoveries that prove that humans are absolutely insane. This island turned normal animals into nightmares. Prehistoric animals scientists get horribly wrong. The largest animal to ever hunt humans. All right, let me be very transparent with you guys. All these thumbnails that you see here, none of these are ever going to be shown in the video. You're not going to see these weird humans in the videos. You're not going to see this dinosaur here. You're not going to see this turtle with long claws, all right, the Nicki Minaj claws. You're not going to see this stuff in the videos. You're not going to see this freaky little thing. You're not going to see someone tossing humans into piles of other humans. It doesn't happen, all right? But the thing is that they're able to get away with it because it's tasteful clickbait. It basically psychologically triggers you to stop scrolling, to look at how weird this thumbnail is, the packaging, to then look at the title and say, okay, the thumbnail is really cool. What's the title so I know what the topic is? Then they see the strangest extinct creatures ever found. And they see this and they think, whoa, this is weird, and I might just see that, and I'm going to click on it. And the thing is that they don't show this, but they deliver a great video. So when you package a great video with a great thumbnail, even if you're slightly lying or manipulating the truth of what they're going to receive, people won't be mad, because at the end of the day, they actually spent the 17 minutes watching your video and really enjoyed it. Felt like they had more that was gained than was lost from being lied to about what was on the thumbnail. So that's the balance, is like you need to learn how to do clickbait, how to understand psychology, how to attract people with colors, with contrast, with polarization, with controversial statements, etc. This is an art form that needs to be learned, and that's what I teach all my students. And once they learn that, they make a lot of money with this business model. All right, so moving on, the next one is doubling down like a psycho. All right, if one video worked, post 10 more just like it. Replicate successful topics with new hooks and new angles. I'm going to show you 2 different channels that did this so freaking well, okay? Now, for the sake of my students' privacy, I'm not going to be able to show the channels themselves, but I'll show you here what happened, all right? So he started a channel in the senior health niche, and he was posting quite a few videos, about actually 1 a day, so posting quite a lot. Now, the issue is that not much was happening. He was getting between 5 to 50 views per video, which is not great to any degree, but he decided to try something new. He decided to try a new concept and editing style and execution style, and it worked. He got his first 1,500 view video. And what happened from there is that he realized that he found something that triggered an emotional response with his viewers, which prompted him to take a second to reflect and say, okay, if my audience is responding better to this type of videos, then maybe I should do more of it. And that's exactly what he did. So lo and behold, he found that outlier topic, which did really, really well. And he doubled down on it every single video. Can you imagine that he found one topic that worked and he has posted another 60 videos, all with basically the same topic with minor different changes. So when you find something that works, double down on it, because this is all happened in the last 2 months. He has incurred $29,000, almost $30,000 in the last 2 months. His first month was just graduating up to finding his first outlier topic, and his second month was just completely doubling down, tripling down on that topic until he was able to just capitalize literally $30,000 extracted from this channel within 2 months, which is just phenomenal results. All right. That is the proof of the pudding that you need when it comes to actually succeeding with a double down process. Another channel I can show you guys is also this one. Again, to respect my student, I'm not going to share his channel, but this is what's happened in the last 30 days. This is what's happened in June, and this is what's happened in May. So as you can see, guys, this stuff works. Literally in the last 90 days, he's collected almost $100,000 with 99% profit margin. He's literally spending about $600 a month to actually create all the content with his teams. That's how lean this business model is. But the point of showing you this is that he was honestly struggling for a very long time. He was posting for quite a bit of time and not seeing much success. As you can see here, he was getting very minimal views. He was averaging about 1 to 2K a month for a very long time. And what happened is he finally found his outlier topics. And when he did, he doubled and tripled down and kept posting the same content over and over because it just kept doing good every single time until the point where he was averaging about $1,000 days. And so that's really how this topic works. That's how this concept works, is double down like a psycho. We do this with every single one of my students. When you find something that works, you double, you triple down. Replicate successful topics with new hooks and new angles. All right, so the next topic I want to talk about is reverse engineering winners, which is kind of similar to the double down like a psycho, but really what you're doing is reverse engineering other winners from other competitors. So finding something that worked for a competitor and doing it yourself on your own channel. This is an art form that once you understand it, it will pay you dividends. So I'm going to show you 2 examples, okay? The first one is Primate Economics and the second one is Primate Educator. So imagine a concept that you see that does really, really well, who only has 13 videos and have amassed millions and millions of views on their channel. Very minimal amount of views. And then you come in and say, okay, well, it's already worked in this niche. There's obviously a demand. So I'm going to do something with a little bit of a twist. I'm going to innovate that niche and do something a little bit better. That's the key here. It's find something that works and make it better. And sometimes better doesn't actually have to be better. It just has to be different. So you can literally do a carbon copy of your competitor with a bit of a twist and see success. So let me show you exactly what this looks like. So here we have Primate Economics, which is the first channel. This came out a little while ago, and actually 3 months ago, and they only actually have 4 videos, 4 long form videos. And they've done pretty well. 400,000 views, 1 million views, 700,000 views, 1.3 million views. So this channel over here saw that and said, okay, well, people are watching this and this person's not capitalizing nearly as well as they could be. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use a caveman instead. They have 60K views, 30K views, 100K views, 60K, 15. So this is actually fantastic execution. These are 2-minute videos. They're not even expensive to make. If you hire a 2D animation specialist to make a 2-minute video that's maybe $10 a minute or $15 a minute, you've only actually paid like $30 for the video because 15 times 2 is only $30. So $30 to do this plus a AI voiceover, plus a AI script, plus a AI thumbnail is actually not that expensive to do. So finding a concept like this, people may run far away because they think it's very expensive to outsource, but really it's not that bad if you know how to do this correctly, right? So here is the concept of copy something, right? Reverse engineering success from other channels and doing it better for yourself. So let me show you one other example as well. So here we have a channel called False Swipe Gaming. They've been around for a very long time, like a very long time, 8 years and counting. Let's take a look at the topics that they used to do back in the day. We see here, how good was Snorlax actually? Okay. Then we have how good was Gyarados actually? How good was Alakazam actually? How good was Gengar actually? Etc., etc., etc. Now let's fast forward to the latest. What type of topics are they posting right now? Ooh, look at that. How good was Pangoro actually? Okay. How great was Slowbro actually? How great were Crobat and Crobat actually? Look at the topics here. Look at the buckets. These are the exact same videos that they posted 8 years ago that they're still posting today, and they're still printing millions and millions of views. All right. Imagine for the last 8 years, they've recycled the same concepts and done 250 million views on their channel, which translates to a ton of cash. So that's part one, is using your own topics and basically milking it. But part two is seeing that in a different niche and implementing it, crossing it over to yours. Okay. So let's look over here. Look at that. How good is Peyton Pritchard actually? Or even how bad is Kyle? You can even improve the bucket by giving it a twist, right? What happened to is another one as well. But look at this, guys. How good is Playoff Arden, right? How good is Bryce James actually? How bad is Bronny James actually? So that's where this concept of reverse engineering success from other competitors is how you win at YouTube, guys. This is the key, and no one's doing this stuff. No one at all is doing this stuff. And my students were doing the basics. These are the basics for us. They're absolutely crushing it. So let me ask you guys, why would you want to choose YouTube automation? Genuinely, like, it's a great question. Why YouTube automation over other business models? You have brick and mortars, you have drop shipping, you have SMMA, but why does YouTube automation become the finish line, the winning vehicle to find yourself in? All right. These are the different business models. Let me explain them super quickly. You have brick and mortar. Okay. This is a physical shop, a physical business, a startup cost ranging between 50K to 250K plus. Time to profit. That's how long you have to spend on average to become profitable in a brick and mortar, 2 to 3, up to 5 years to see your first profit. There's a lot of stress and risk between staff, rent, lawsuits. And to make passive income, it requires a lot of daily operations to get to that point, again, in years. And to scale, it's very difficult. It's expensive and slow. So really, brick and mortar is not the way to go. What about dropshipping? Startup costs are between 2 to 10K a month. Time to profit is between 3 to 6 months. Stress and risk, you have refunds, supplier issues, payment processors, all this other stuff. And then passive income, super low. And scalability, you have burnout and saturation. And again, the profit margins are so low. You're looking between 7 to 15% profit margins. Imagine making only 7% on all your income in profit. And then you have SMMA, which is a social media marketing agency. And I can speak on this because I had one running about $30,000 a month, all the way to zero, plummeted because it's such a bad business model. Time to profit is 2 to 4 months. Stress and risk, chasing clients, failed results. It's a revolving wheel of clients consistently. There's no passive income with this, and it's not very scalable. The more you scare, the more you work. Right? So now look at this, guys. YouTube is very, very simple. Let me explain to you exactly why it's so simple and why it's the leading business model in 2025 for anybody who's interested in making money from home. All right. The startup investment is about $300 to $1,000. That's about it. The time to actually make revenue, you can achieve it within 30 to 90 days. You're then able to do this without having any clients or products, essentially running extremely lean business between two people, but rather just exchanging time. You also have no boss. This is probably one of the most freeing and gratifying parts of this entire business model. There's nobody here telling you what to do, right? You enjoy the freedom from traditional employment, all right? The next thing is the potential. The potential for these things is incredibly high because it's an uncapped income stream. You can have one channel making you 5K a month. You can have 10 channels, each making you 5K a month, whatever you so choose, because the skill set is yours and the capability to make money is in your hands at all times. It also has infinite scalability because it's not only just about making money with ads, but you can also add on products, ebooks, courses, consulting, coaching, the list goes on. There's so many different ways to make money with YouTube automation. So overall, most channels fail. I'll be very honest, but here's the thing, my students didn't. And the reason is because they followed a simple, proven system, plug and play tools, and had the coaching and accountability that they needed to be successful. And now we have over 900 students that are operating in my coaching company that are making tons of money with YouTube, completely automated. I have some students that are doing $10,000 to $15,000 a month, working 1 to 3 hours a week, and I have testimonies to back it up. If you want to see them, go here, book a call with me and my team, see if it's a fit to work with us. As soon as you book a call, you'll be led to another page with an infinite scroll of testimony, videos, screenshots, conversations, everything that you need to know to see that this thing actually works, and it can work for you too, because there's hundreds of students that I've worked with in all walks of life. I have 60-year-olds and I have 18-year-olds all making 5 to 10K a month, and they can prove to you by hearing them in their testimony that this thing can actually work for you as well. So if you're interested, go ahead and hop on a call with us, my team, see if it's a fit to work with us. If not, just keep consuming my free content. That's what I'm here for. Deliver as much value, make my free stuff better than their paid stuff. I hope you guys see that through the content and value that I give you. But like I said, I'll see you guys either on the call or on our next video.